Joey Montemayor is a very simple man. I just do my work as a doctor and a lawyer, and also as an economist, also author and professor of law and medicine, and also criminology sometimes. And also, over and above all these things, I am just a servant of God.
Hello everyone, I'm Francesca Chuidian and this is Jojomon Talks. So this is the very first episode of our show po, and I am just so blessed and excited to be here to be interviewing our very special guest. Actually, the reason behind this show, Doctor and Attorney Joey Montemayor. So for our viewers, if you're wondering bakit Jojomon po, kasi Jojo is from the name Joey, that's his nickname, and of course Mon is from Montemayor. Welcome, Dr. Joey Montemayor, or Dr. Jojo. How should I call you po?
Well, Joey or Jojomon.
Oh, okay. Doctor. Doc na lang. Okay. This is all about you. This is your show. So, can you please introduce yourself? Say something about yourself.
Sa mga nakikinig po, I am Dr. Attorney Joey Jojomon Montemayor Jr. I am a cardiologist. I am a doctor. I am a lawyer also. I am an economist, also author of many books, and also professor of law, medicine, criminology, and physical therapy.
Okay. So, people may be watching the show and siguro nagwa-wonder sila, ano ba yung show all about? Ano po yung mission ng show na to?
Well, basically, this show focuses on very important issues.
Okay.
As we face all the abnormalities in our situation, in the COVID era situation.
That's right.
It affected everything: economy, the education, the health system, of course,
Okay.
the industry, the economic developments, infrastructure, and everything connected with it. So we have to impress to the people these specific issues that affects our nation as a whole. Because our
That's
nation
right.
is suffering from too much economic depravity. We are actually second to the last in Asia as far as our economic index. We are already number 121 out of
wow.
122 countries. We have a very low economic index in the Philippines. Is suffering
Okay.
from, whereas before we are sixth in the ASEAN region. Now
Okay.
we are laggards. No? We are very near the other countries that before are laggards also, like Laos and Cambodia. But now they're actually overtaking us in every situation, except from the advantage we have in education and also in health. So the
Okay.
Philippines is now suffering from too much degradation, economic depravity, and it has become a laggard in every aspect of it during COVID era.
Very interesting. So, grabe talaga yung impact ng COVID
Yes.
in that particular area.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so because of like pandemic, okay, COVID, let's talk about the frontliners po. Specifically the nurses. Can you say something about the salaries of the nurses?
Well, the the Nursing Act, the latest Nursing Act mentioned that the salary of an ordinary nurse, which is what we call salary grade 15,
Yeah.
they must be paid around 33,000
Okay.
to 35,000. But
Wow.
that kind of a thing is too complex for the nurses. Actually, they are being given only less than 20,000.
Okay.
And most of them, before you will be accepted in many hospitals, you will undergo some what we call adjunct. They have to evaluate you. You cannot be a regular employee automatically. So you have to first apply, and they will not
Okay.
pay you except for some allowances, and some hazard pay. But
Okay.
basically, they are not being paid at the start of their occupation, at the start of their engagement
All right.
in their duties.
Okay. So you really feel na parang I get that it is really a burden for you.
It is a burden
Yes.
because, well, that is an individual assessment. But
That's
if
right.
we will compare the nurses
Yes.
with the ASEAN region,
That's right.
the Filipino nurses gets a very low. It is, for example, the
Okay.
15 to 21,000. In
That's right.
comparison with this second lowest, which is Vietnam, the nurses in Vietnam get around 63,000. And in Singapore, they are being paid 285,000 to 350,000. It depends on your category. So you can see the very uh, wide and still widening gap between the salaries of Filipino nurses and that of the other ASEAN neighbors, not considering uh, the other countries like the United States and the European countries.
Yeah.
So we can see a very sad plight for our
I
nurses.
understand. Doc, why do you think it wasn't included, yung salary increase, when the salaries of the police was actually increased?
Well, there are two factors there.
Yeah.
Number one, the political factor, because
Okay.
the president is too much dependent on the police to carry out his objective,
Okay.
especially the drug one, and also the military, which we all know that the military can at any time can stage a coup, and every president is very fearful of a coup d'etat. So in that case, yes, the president should satisfy the military, not only the military but also the police personnel. Now, in prioritizing the military and the police,
Yeah.
uh, the teachers and the nurses are being laggards of all the
Okay.
profession. They are being treated as a very cheap commodity.
Okay.
Well, mainly
Okay.
because of we have too many nurses. Actually, it is
There
not.
are a lot of nurses.
It's not a lot of nurses, but they are not well distributed in all of the Philippines.
Oh,
We have
okay.
200,000 or more before COVID graduates of nursing
All right.
every year.
That's right. That's
Uh,
right.
but now, in our estimation, we still produce around 120 to 180,000 nurses every year. So, yan po, no, it is a very sad plight for our nurses. And what is sickening is that we have around 13,000 to 15,000 nurses who go abroad, Middle East, United States, and other
That's
ASEAN
right.
countries. So we
Exactly.
can see an exodus of a lot
Exactly.
of nurses seeking good employment abroad because
Abroad. That's
they
right.
cannot sustain
With a-
the kind of living that they may have in other countries. Unlike the Philippines, if you earn 21,000, that is already high salary.
High.
But if you go to the provinces, they earn 8 to 12,000. So really,
8,000?
our nurses are suffering a lot. No? They are suffering a
Wow.
lot. They are not receiving their bonuses. They are not receiving their hazard pay, especially during these COVID
That's
times.
right. That's right.
And we have around almost 200,000 nurses already died because of COVID. And
That's right.
a little more than that are the doctors who are also died because of COVID and COVID complications.
Wow. Okay, so Doc, how exactly will you suggest a solution to
Very si-
this
yes,
current situation? Yes.
That's a very good question. Uh, the important thing there is to focus on the person, focus on the nurse, to improve his or her dignity. No, you have to give him a competitive, if not high, it's a competitive salary
Salary.
as far as our ASEAN neighbors are
That's
concerned.
right. That's right.
You have to focus on them. Give them the dignity that they deserve. No? Give
That's
them a competitive salary. Give them Number two, give them the environment that they can work, no? The aspect that they can work to, the kind of environment that will not expose them to health hazard or even to our problem now, which is COVID, no? Because a lot of nurses are already died because of that. And some have these
Wow.
kind of complications of COVID. And number three, you don't only focus on the health healthcare personnel, the nurse,
Yeah.
uh, but also on the environment, and also the third important thing, the equipments, no, because some nurses cannot have that kind of advancement in an environment in which they are being exploited. So
That's
give
true.
them educational advancement, how to develop their skill, how to give them an advanced learning on other aspects of nursing. And you just do not throw them in a, you just do not throw them in a very complicated situation. Yan po, no, nakakawa nga ang ating mga...
Nakakaawa talaga po.
Opo.
Yeah.
Kasi tingnan mo, no, yung nurse mismo, uuwi sa bahay nila pagod na pagod. Hindi nila alam kung nakuha na nila yung COVID.
Totoo.
Pagkatapos, ang baba-baba ng sweldo, that cannot sustain a family. Even a family
Yeah.
of one or two cannot sustain that kind of salary.
That's true.
And wala silang yung kanilang gamit, yung gamit sa hospital, yung equipment talagang lacking, no? Yung mga thermometer nga hiraman pa eh. No, which are basic, dapat disposable na yan.
That's right.
No? In Singapore, they have a high-tech nursing care.
Wow.
And ironically, many of the nurses in Singapore are also Filipinos. So
That's right.
you have that kind of irony, which is very sad. No? We have a plight of nurses going into that country because of the salary. And number three, give them advancement in nursing education. Because
Very good.
we know for a fact that the kind of education or the kind of training that we have also depends on the kind of technology that we possess. So yun po, yung dapat bigyan natin kahalagaan ng ating mga healthcare workers, ang mga nurses, no? Ang pangalawa, bigyan natin ng magandang salary, no? Competitive. It
Yes.
may not be as high as Singapore, 236,000 a month, no? Pero bigyan
Very
natin, kagaya ng Vietnam, 63,000 ang minimum nila sa mga nurses. Pangalawa, yung para sa ating mga kababayan, dapat malaman natin na ang mga nurses nangangailangan din ng magandang edukasyon. Hindi po pwedeng ituro yung nursing care nung yung 1950s, 1960s sa high technology ngayon.
Yeah.
No? Especially we have now
Very true.
training in technological nursing care, follow-up of patients. No? We call it telemedicine. We call it telenursing. So you can also have
Telenursing, yeah.
care.
Interesting.
Nurses can
Yeah.
also have that kind of care, monitoring patients, especially diabetic patients, heart patients, cancer patients. You can have also telenursing, of which you can care for patients even you are not in their presence. That is what we do when we use other technologies like Zoom,
That's right.
Google Meet. No?
That's right.
Yes, especially the kind of monitoring. Yung pong pagmamonitor ng mga pasyente, ng mga nurses, hindi lang yung personal care. Sometimes, it may not be possible because of social distancing, care, no, lack of transportation. You can monitor even in your home. No?
That's right.
Yan po, no? At saka yung advancement ng nursing science. Napaka-importante po yan.
Advancement.
Opo. Sa Amerika po, dito sa atin, bawal mag-injection yung mga nurses. No?
Wow.
Doktor lang dapat.
Doctor, that's
Magbibigay ng gamot kasi because of some complications. Pero sa Amerika, they do, for example, ICU nursing. They are like doctors. They can monitor electrocardiograph, ECG. They can monitor diabetic patients.
Oh,
Namamonitor
yes,
nila
yes.
ang
Okay.
maraming
Yeah.
pasyente. At saka parang doktor na rin sila, which is very important because doctors cannot be everywhere. No?
That's right.
They,
Yeah.
yes. That's why yung mga nurses po, They have to do that kind of, not usurping medical function, pero kailangan dis lang matuto yung mga gamot, komplikasyon ng mga gamot, no? At saka yung emergency situation. Sometimes, yung mga nurses lang ang present. Minsan ang
That's
doktor
right.
wala, attending to some other patients. So in that kind of emergency situation, nurses can provide a very vital function, just like doctors.
Actually, yeah.
Yes, yan po yung
It's very,
importante.
very eye-opening, actually, very informative
Opo.
also. Galing. Doc, I'm just wondering like, where does your confidence come from to address these things, if I may ask?
Well, my favorite verse is Psalms 23, verse 1. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. My confidence and trust comes only from the Lord. Because there's, in, he said in his word that we have to trust him alone.
Yeah.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not unto your own
Own
understanding.
understanding.
At
I get
magtitiwala
that.
ka palagi sa Panginoon sa lahat ng oras at sa lahat ng panahon. Kasi kung walang Panginoon, hindi natin makakaya. No?
You cannot.
Sabi niya,
Yes, I agree.
apart from me, sabi niya, you can do nothing. Apart from me, you can do nothing.
Do anything, yes.
Yes, but with the Lord, nothing is impossible.
Amen to that. Great. Thank you so much, Doc, for this wonderful interview. Actually, I really appreciate everything that you said, and I appreciate your heart also and your honesty. So, this ends our very first episode of Jojomon Talks. Next topic will be about the public school teacher salary. That's right. Yes. So I'm very interested in that also, in talking to you about that. Thank you everyone for watching Jojomon Talks. We will see you next Tuesday. Thank you. Thank you, po, Doc.
Thank you.
That was great.